Okay, so now I'm going to write one Docker file. See this. Uh, so this is my Docker file. Okay, so see, just this is from is the source. Maintainer is who has written this Docker file and run. I'm just updating my Ubuntu package. Then I'm installing Apache. Okay, and as I said, for all your process or all your service, you should have one running directory. So I'm just creating one directory for Apache. Okay, for all the process. See, suppose if you are installing some software in your laptop, right, under C folder you will get one folder, right? Same when you do something in a Docker file for one service or some software, you need one running directory. That's what I'm creating one directory. Then I am exposing the Apache in 80 port, and this is the command to start your Apache. These three are new to you, right? That is, this environment variable is new to you. Now, I'll remove this environment variable, and I have just removed my environment variable. Now, I'm just building one Docker file. Docker build -t Apache 2 version 1.0 dot. Dot is where your Docker file is present. Okay, now if you give Docker images, your image will be ready. Okay, now I'm just going to launch one container. So Docker run -itd -name Apache container, then -p. I'm just opening the port number 8090 then your image name. Now if you give Docker Docker ps, your container is not launched. Then we have to start our troubleshooting. Okay, see, reading learning technology is not an important. Again and again I'm saying how to troubleshoot if there is any issue, right? That is what very important. Then only you can learn a lot. Okay, now I'm just giving Docker ps-a. You are getting one container as existed state. Now Docker logs container id. What they are saying, they are saying to the config variable run direct Apache run directory is not defined. Okay, just copy this and go to Google. Then see what they are saying. You have to define like this. Okay, you have to pass, because for up to start your Apache, you need one running, you need one user, you need one group, and you need one directory for logs. So that's what I have mentioned in my Docker file. So I have one user, I have one group, I have one no log directory. Then I have to pass one running directory. That's what they have mentioned here. Clear? How to troubleshoot it? Fine. Any doubts in this? Any doubts in this? How to troubleshoot? So when you are how to troubleshoot means, first Docker file mostly will be given by your developer. Just get that Docker file and just build one image and launch one container, and check whether your container is running or not by issuing one command called docker ps. If your container is not launched, then docker ps-a, then check the logs, and based upon the logs you have to troubleshoot. Okay, Abhishek, what's your doubt?
Yeah, so actually the doubt is this in this file, right? So for any service, we have to mention this.
Huh?
Like for any launching any service in the container, we should be specifying the environment or what, like this.
No, 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 no. This is for Apache. See, based upon, that's what I said, based upon what issue or what error you are getting in logs, you have to troubleshoot.
Okay.
Okay. For Apache, you need a, that is Apache criteria. That's it.
So at that last line, can you just once explain the syntax, please?
Huh?
That last line you had written right in that Docker file. Can you just once explain the syntax, please? Yeah, that cmd user bin.
This is the command to start your Apache. I'm just saying. See, you can write any command you want. I'm just giving this. That's it. Okay.
Okay, sir.
See, there are n number of ways to start each services. You can start with service, you can start with systemctl, you can start like this, and so there are so many. You can start with Apache commands. So like this, we have so many criteria. So I'm just going in one way. That's it. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So again, I'm just building the Docker file. I'll remove this contain. I'll remove this because I don't want inactive containers. And again, I'm running it. Now docker ps, your container is launched. Now if you go to your browser 8090, your file is working fine. So you should know how to troubleshoot it. Okay, you have to, every time you have to give docker ps whenever you are launching one container. Just verify that your container is running or not. If not, then go to docker ps-a, then check the logs, and based upon your logs, you have to troubleshoot it. Fine. Okay. So next, see here, I'm just going into this container. I'm just going into this container. Docker exe hyphen it container id slash bin slash bash. Okay. Now, if I give vi, right, vi, you are getting like command not found. So whenever you are launching your container with that particular image, you are not getting this VA. Correct? Now, what's your use cases? Whenever I am launching one container, I should have both Apache and VI. Same like your AMI, customized AMI concept. So your use cases, whenever you are launching one container, that container should have VI as well as Apache. How to do it, right? I'm just installing VI here. Then I'm installing Git. Okay, now this container has Git, this container has VI, this container has Apache. Okay, now just give Docker ps Docker commit container ID. I'm just converting my container to image. Okay, so Docker commit, this is my container ID. Then I'll give my updated image. I'll keep one image as my updated image. Okay, now Docker images, you will find your image. Now next time whenever you're launching your container with this image ID, with this image, that container will have Apache, Git and VI. This is updating your image. Fine. Okay, so how to find what and all issue of one image? This is the command. How to find the issue of your image? Docker issue your image name. So what and all updates has been done in this image? You can just check it out. Any doubts in this too? How to troubleshoot your Docker file? Then how to convert your container to image? Any doubts in these two scenarios? Okay, so two scenarios we have done. Okay, now next is Docker networking. Okay, so just have some idea in Docker network. Okay, so now if I give Docker network ls, you will have, by default you'll have three networks. One is bridge network, another one is host network, another one is none network. Okay, what is bridge network is, usually by default, suppose in interview, what is the default network in Docker? If someone asks you, the answer is bridge network. So usually many people will, suppose if they are going for only Docker, then many people will prefer bridge network, not host network. I'll say why. So now how to see bridge network is, so Docker network inspect bridge. So what and all container has been launched in this? You can see, right? This is our container name. So these are all containers has been launched inside this network. So if you launch one container in Docker, the default network is bridge network. Okay. Now I'll launch one container. Okay. I'll launch two containers. One, I'm just launching two containers. Okay. Docker run -itd -name. This is name for my container. This is my image name. And I'm just launching second container. Now Docker ps. Okay, two container has been launched, container 1 and container 2. Now how to get the IP of your container? Anyone can answer to this question? How to get the IP of your net in a container? Let's see who has practiced. IP of your container. Good, Joseph.
Inspect.
Good. Docker inspect. I guess only Joseph is practicing. Docker inspect container. I'm just getting the IP of my container 1. The IP address is this one, 172.17.0.3. Okay. Just remember this, 172.17.0.3. Okay, and same for my second container, 172.17.0.4. Now, when you are launching your container, so as I said, when you launch your container, both will be in bridge network. So by default, you can interact two containers without doing any changes. For example, here Docker exe -it c1. I'm just entering into the first container. Okay, ping 170 172 dot C. From C1 you are connecting to the C2, because when the container has been launched in same network, then you can communicate one container to another container without doing any changes. For example, so this is your first container, this is your second container. When you are not specifying any network, these two will be in same network called bridge network. So if you are launching one more container also, this will be under bridge network only. So by default, all this container will be communicate with each other. Okay. Same concept you have where you have seen this same concept. Can anyone say me? Same concept you have seen somewhere. Same concept anywhere. No, not Docker link. In AWS side, correct. So same in VPC also you have seen, right? In VPC also, whenever you are launching your instances in same VPC, then you can communicate with that instance by default without doing any changes. Correct or not? Same concept here. Okay. Now I don't want to use this. I don't want to use this network. Okay. I want to use my own network. Then how to do it? Okay. Docker network create. I am just going to use bridge network. This is my bridge network name. Now Docker network ls, you will have your network name. Next time, I'm just launching 2 containers within my network. Okay, same command. I'm just using network as my network, which I have created here. Okay, so now see Docker exe -it container name sh. See, I don't know the IP address of my this container, right? A2 container. Now ping A2. These two will be communicated still. Okay, so this is Docker networking. So if you are creating your own customized network, then if you don't know the IP also, you can communicate to that another container with its container name itself. Clear? Now I want to create one network with my own CI/CD. Then how to do it? So this is the command. Docker network create in this subnet, in this IP range, in this gateway. Now Docker network ls, you will have your network. So you are just specifying in what subnet range, what IP range you want. Clear? So like this only we will create our network. Now see Docker Docker run -itd -name -name new one httpd. Okay, same command I'm running. I can launch same I can launch same service multiple times if you go for bridge network. Okay, So what is bridge network is, there will be separate isolation between your Docker host machine and Docker container, because Docker container will have some different IP, right? And your Docker machine will have different IP. So there will be network isolation between your host and between your container. Whereas in host network, you are communicating to your host IPs. For example, see now I'm just creating one. I'm creating one container with host network. Okay, if I launch second container, Docker PS, Docker PS-A, it will be in existed state. Why? Because you are 80 port, Nginx will occupy 80 port. 80 port is already occupied. So you cannot launch multiple web services on same host if you are going for host network. Why? Because in host network, you are communicating with your host IP. Not there won't be isolation between your Docker container and network host. You understood what is difference between bridge network and host network? Understood? See, see in bridge network, right? What is bridge network is? Bridge network, there will be isolation between your Docker machine and your Docker container. Each Docker container will have separate IP, correct? So you can launch n number of container, right? You can launch n number of Apache container just changing by name. If you go for bridge network, whereas in host network, there won't be any isolation between your container and your host machine. When you go for host network, you are directly communicating to your host machine. So if you are launching one container with Nginx default port number is 80. So your 80 port is already blocked. So if you are launching another container with 80 port, then you cannot launch it. Understood or not, Shakti? Any other doubts? See, to be Docker, see, these are all little advanced. Okay. See, what is bridge network? This is default network driver. If you don't specify a driver, this type of network you are creating. Bridge network are usually used when your application um, See here, when you start Docker, a default bridge network is created automatically. The newly started container will connect automatically to it. You can also create user-defined custom bridge network. User-defined bridge network are superior to the default bridge network. Why? Because I already showed you, when you created user defined bridge network, then you can communicate to another container without IP as well. That's what they are saying here. User defined bridge network are superior to default bridge network. Okay, so what is host network? Host network, it removes network isolation between your container and host port and use host networking directly. What is host means? Our EC2 instance. Okay, so if you run container which binds to the port 80 and you use host networking, the container application is available on the port 80 on the host IP address. Means you will not able to run multiple web containers on the same host because your port 80 is already occupied. Understood or not? So they have given you detailed information. So everyone able to get the point? See, if you go for bridge network, there will see host is nothing but your Ubuntu machine. Container, you know it, right? If you go for bridge network, there will be complete isolation between your host and container. Okay, container will have different IPs. So you can launch n number of service with the same port number itself. Okay, that is with 80. Whereas if you go for host network, then you are directly communicating to the host IP address. So you cannot launch multiple container with the same host. You understood or not? No, if I access Apache means which I didn't understand. I didn't understand your Robin. I didn't understand your question.
Sir, in case we access the Apache means which IP we can use, the host IP or that container IP?
For which one?
For that we created one Apache in container, na?
No. Whether you are talking about host network or bridge network.
Host network, sir.
Host network, then you have to communicate with your host IP only, right?
Okay. Then for bridge network?
See, bridge network, yeah, bridge network is also host IP only. See here,
okay,
you are not understanding my point, I guess. See, Docker run -itd -name sample1, okay, -p 8091, and you are giving 80 port here, right? 80 port. This is host
yes.
container port, then HTTPD. You are launching. Again, you are just changing your name and you are changing your port. You are launching another container. Okay, with same sample 3 9093 80 port, and you are launching container, right? With same 80 port.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. See, if you give Docker PS, right?
Yes.
You are just route 8093 will be routed to 80 only. Correct? But same
Yes,
thing,
sir.
you cannot do it in host IP because you are directly communicating with your host network. So your 80 port is already blocked. So you cannot launch same. You cannot launch a container with same port.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
You are able to understand, right?
Yeah, understand now.
Fine. Joseph, you are able to understand? So any doubts in this Docker volume? Okay, see, this and all little bit advanced there. uh, just I'm teaching you, that's it. Okay, just if you talk about this and all, this will be very good, to be frank. Okay, now we'll go for Docker Compose. Okay, so what is Docker Compose is, see, now I want to launch multiple container at a stitch. See, for now, I'm just for pulling one image, I'm running one command. For image, I'm running one command. For volume, I'm running one command. For launching one container, I'm running one command. So now what I have to do is, using Docker Compose, you can launch n number of containers at a stitch. So how to do it? So just go to Google, install Docker Compose. Just go here, go to Linux. So I'm into official website only. Just go to this. First I'm installing Docker Compose. Then I'm just changing the permission. That is, I'm giving executable permission. Now if you give Docker Compose hyphen version, your Docker Compose is installed. Now what is the purpose of Docker Compose is, as already said, I can launch n number of containers, right? So I'm just creating one file directory called Docker Compose. I'm going into the Docker Compose. Here, your Docker Compose should be in this syntax: Docker Compose dot YAML. So Docker Compose will be in .YAML format. What is YAML is? Ain't markup language. So it will be like this. So I'm creating it in text file. Then I'm renaming it. See, this your Docker Compose will be. This is version for your Docker Compose. 2 is little bit older. Newer version is 3. Docker version 3. So I'll use Docker version 3 itself. That version is Docker Compose. Then I'm going to launch 2 services. Database. This is my database image name. This is volume. That is whatever files in this uh, what I can say, whatever files inside this container will be mounted or will be copied to this local directory, and this is environment variable. Okay, and next I'm launching WordPress image. WordPress, what is depends on is, I'm just linking my WordPress to this database, and this is the port number 8080, and this is environment variable, this is volume. Now for all this, I have in Docker file we have ran separately, right? We have issued different comments. Now I'm just writing in single file. Okay, Docker Compose up -d. So this is the command, just single command. So it will pull your database, volumes will be created, environment variable will be passed. Now it is pulling WordPress. So now Docker Compose PS, Docker Compose PS. Here both MySQL and WordPress both are in upstate. Now you are launched in 8080, right? Go and check in 8080. You will get this page. This is Docker Compose. So Docker Compose logs, which will give you logs of your Docker Compose. Then Docker Compose start, start, stop, then restart. So like this. Understood what is Docker Compose? See, Docker Compose is same like your Docker file. So instead of running multiple commands in single file, I am specifying everything. This is my first benefit. Second benefit is using Docker Compose, you can launch multiple containers. Fine. Understood? Others? Fine. Okay. Now I'll go through this how one real-time file will look. Okay. So everyone is aware of this one GitHub. So now, right? So my in my environment, they will give file like this only. Okay. So pom.xml is for Maven. Okay. And Jenkins file is for Jenkins pipeline, and they will give Docker file like this. So what we have to do is we have to deploy this using CI/CD pipeline, which we will see it in real time. Okay. So I'll show my real time environment Docker file. So like this, they will give me the Docker file. See, this is my Docker file. Okay, so where they have mentioned from. See here. So I have shown you about Docker Hub, right? We have pushed our public private image to Docker Hub, right? But in real time, we won't use Docker Hub because Docker Hub is public, correct? So if you are going for some big enterprises, like they will use one Artifactory. Okay, what is Artifactory is? Artifactory is a private repository where you can push your Docker images. Okay, so if you are going for some very small level company, they might use Docker Hub. But if you go for any big organization, right, they will use only Artifactory. There will be one project session. In that project session, we'll talk about Nexus Artifactory. So that's what in my organization we are giving the Artifactory name, and this is your maintainer name. This is argument environment variables. So as I said, whenever you are launching one service, you should have one running directory, and you are copying this folder, this script to this container path. Then I'm just exposing my application. I'm just exposing this application in 8070 port, and this is the command to start this application. So like this. So like this, you will have your Docker file. This is real time my environment Docker file. Okay. You are getting some idea, right? How one Docker file will look. Fine. So now, see here. Now after, so now I have just used only one machine type, but in real time, there are cluster concept, which can be done in two ways. One is Docker Swarm, another one is Kubernetes. So what is Docker Swarm and Kubernetes is, you are maintaining cluster environment for your Docker. Kubernetes or Docker Swarm, both are orchestration tool. What is orchestration tool is, if you want to maintain multiple containers, if you want to deploy your containers, if you want to auto heal your containers, then you can go for Kubernetes. Okay. So Docker Swarm, than Docker Swarm, people will go for Kubernetes because there are lots of facilities available in Kubernetes than Docker Swarm. So if you know Kubernetes, right, you can demand it, that is the most demanded tools in DevOps tools, to be frank. Okay, if you specify that you know Kubernetes, then I can damn sure that, for example, if one guy doesn't know Docker Swarm, if one guy doesn't know Kubernetes, if company is ready to pay 30%, if you know Kubernetes, they will pay you even 50%. Okay, because now many organizations are moving from monolithic architecture to microservices. In microservices, they won't have single machine, so they will have cluster machine. That's what people will, that's what people, companies are expecting a people with Kubernetes knowledge. So if you know Kubernetes, that will be a more added advantages. So AWS, DevOps, Python plus Kubernetes, again, it is very unique future, I can say. Okay. So if you know about Kubernetes, then it will be very good. Fine. And the people will ask me, actually from Monday, again, not for business, don't think I'm doing business and all, just I'm giving you an heads up. Okay, from Monday I'm just starting, not me, myself and Karthik, we are starting on Kubernetes batch only for Kubernetes, and one project, one live project. MKDIR, CMD, CMD, BI, Docker file. Hey, this is very simple example. Okay, I'm just specifying here. This is my CMD command. I'm just giving echo, welcome to my class. Okay. Now, okay. Docker build -t cmd dot. Now your image is ready. Now Docker run -itd hyphen, okay, echo. So in CMD I have mentioned as welcome to the class, right? Now echo welcome to Docker day 3. forgotten to. Okay, sorry. I am just specifying D will run in background, right? Right? You are just overriding whatever you are specified in CMD. You are just overwriting here. But in entry point, right? In the entry point, in the entry point, see, this is my entry point command. Here I am specifying, hi, this is Docker. Okay. Now, Docker build -t cmd dot. So now Docker run -it echo. See, I have specified as, hi, this is Docker. Okay. Now I'm saying, hi, this is Damo. You cannot overwrite whatever you have mentioned in Docker file. You can just append it. So this is difference between CMD and entry point. Aravind, you understood? This is, I'm just telling with you a simple example, very, very simple example. Fine, Aravind? Okay. So I thought to give you so many interview questions. Anyway, you just practice it, and next session might be those who are in next session, that is in project session, I'll give you some interview questions in Docker. If you go through all this whatever session I taught or whatever interview question I'm going to give you, and there will be one CI/CD project. Okay, if you go through all this, I'm damn sure you can clear with this. Okay, so any doubts you can ping me. Hope so you would have got some knowledge in Docker, and I have given you about till network itself. So if you are no practicing all three sessions, see, some people will teach you more, but not that much required. If you know till this, I'm damn sure you can clear in any interviews. Okay, so all the best. So any doubts you can, any help, any doubts you can ping me. Fine. I'll close this session. Okay. So level 30, those who are joined for AWS, right? Level 30 will have RDS and DynamoDB. If you already attended, you can skip it. Those who have not attended, just ping me. Okay. Okay. You can attend that session. And Joseph, I have just called you last week, but I don't know, you didn't pick my call. Okay. Fine. Okay, so we'll meet later. Okay, thank you.